If you run a pest control company and you want more inbound calls and booked jobs from Google, then this video is for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Munir. We've helped over 100 local service businesses, including pest control companies, grow with SEO and Google Ads. Together, our clients have generated over $12 million in tracked revenue from our processes. And if you don't believe me, you can go on vixelstudio.com to see all of our testimonials and case studies. In this video, I'll show you step by step how to rank on Google for pest control in your city so that you can get more inbound calls and book jobs without increasing your ad spend. By then, you'll know exactly how to do this by yourself. And if you'd rather have it done for you, there's a link below in the description where you can book a free audit, and we'll show you how this will look like for your own pest control business. So let's get right into it. So in this example, I'm going to assume that you want to show up for Pest Control Tampa. I'm assuming you're a company based in Tampa. So the first thing I like to do is just observe the results on Google so I can see what we're dealing with. So at the top here, there's a lot of ads, and there's ads for $79. So there's clearly some offer going on. So we're not going to talk about ranking on here. We're just going to talk about this section. So we're going to talk about ranking on the Google Maps. That's what these things are right here. There's some sponsored here as well. And then we're going to talk about what it takes to rank here as well. So this is called the organic section, and then this is called the Google Map Pack. So this is called the Google Map Pack, and this is actually a huge source of leads. You'll be surprised at how many leads come through just from this section alone. And oftentimes more leads come from here instead of here, just because people like to look at the reviews, and they're usually more confident in their decision of who they call because they can see the reviews and they can more easily call. So one thing that you'll notice is that the businesses at the top usually have the word pest control or Tampa in their names. So you'll notice that this company has only 1,100 reviews, but this company has 5,200, but this company has the word Tampa and pest control. One of the biggest factors of ranking on Google Maps is actually the name of your business. So if you're able to actually name your business something called Bob's Tampa Pest Control Company or Spencer's Pest Control Tampa, that would actually help you a lot in getting it to rank on Google Maps. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, your business is already established. So what some people do is they get a doing business as license. So this varies state by state, but you can go to the state of Florida and you can say, I want to take the name of my business. So let's say it's called Spidex. So you can get Spidex-Pest Control Tampa. So that would allow you to just change the name of your Google business profile to mention the name of the service, which is pest control, and also the name of the city. So other than the name, another big ranking factor is actually the amount of reviews that you have. So it's no surprise that these companies have a lot of reviews. This company has 900, 1,100, 5,200. And as I scroll down, typically the amount of reviews that I'm going to see from each business will just be less and less. So it does take a long time to get all these reviews, but having just some system in place to at least acquire them month by month will ensure that you are on your path to showing up on the top of the Google Maps. You will also notice that not every review is treated the same. So whenever you look at the review of a Google business profile, it's typically going to prioritize the ones at the top that have the most detail, or if any person has any photos. So the more that you can get your customers to just describe very briefly what they did or where you did it, or if they can add any photos as proof, these will make each review more valuable to your Google Map profile, and this will actually help increase your rankings on the Google Map Pack. So other than the name and getting a lot of reviews, another super crucial factor is having a physical address in the center of your city. So in this case, Tampa. So you'll notice that for every single business that I click on, they're going to have a pin somewhere on the map, and that pin represents their physical address. So you won't see any business at all that is ranking high on Google Maps that doesn't have a pin. So when you don't have a pin, you show up in a map like this. This is called a service area business. And the way that the Google algorithm works right now is it doesn't really favor service area businesses at all. If you are able to get an address on the Google Map profile, it's going to favor your Google business profile a lot more. So it's actually very, very critical that you go through the process of trying to get an address on your Google business profile. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You may be thinking I need to get this huge office just to have a small pin on my Google Map profile. Is it really that worth it? And the truth is, you don't need a huge office. You just need even a one small office room just to prove that you have a physical location. And that can be enough just to get an address on your Google business profile. It is a bit of a cumbersome process. Google will ask you to record a video showing your neighborhood and street signage to actually verify the address. And they're also going to want to see physical signage of your company name somewhere on the outside of the office. And they also want to see proof that you can unlock something in the video to prove that you actually have access to that facility. It is a pretty tedious process to do this, and I always hate doing it. But the thing is that not many of your competitors are going to do it. So if you do it, you're going to put yourself in a way better situation. One thing you may notice is that all of these companies close at either 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. But what happens is that if someone searches outside of these hours, let's say someone searches for a pest control company at 11 p.m., Google will actually prioritize the Google business profile that actually has their hours marked as open. So when 11 p.m. hits, all of these companies will be marked as closed and they'll actually go to the bottom. And any business that has remained open will actually show up at the top, actually giving them a chance to actually answer the leads and acquire the leads. Even if you may not answer them, you can implement a voice AI system to just capture their details to set up an appointment in the future, or they may just go on your website and submit a lead form that way. So that is one extra way that you can show up at the top of Google Maps, just by extending your hours of operation to be 24 hours. So some other small things that you can do on your Google business profile that can help a little bit, it's not a huge factor, is just adding things called products. So you're going to see this is a pest control company in Tampa, and they have a list of all the different services that they have, and they just list it as products. So this just makes your Google business profile look a lot better, and you're able to give more details about the different services that you have. But it's not a big ranking factor, but it makes it look a lot better. Another factor that can help is adding photos regularly to your Google business profile. So this could be photos of anything. This could be photos of your truck. It could be photos of happy customers. It could be photos of your crew doing some work, anything that makes your company look better. I would be careful of the photos I add here because people will see them. So you always want to make sure that you're adding high quality professional images to your Google business profile. So let's take this company, Friendly Pest Solutions LLC, and let's see how they actually rank on Google Maps. So this is called a Google Map Pack scan. And this is how this company, Friendly Pest Solutions, shows up in Tampa for Pest Exterminator Near Me. So one thing that you'll notice is this company, Friendly Pest Solutions, has their PIN or their address in this area within Tampa. So what you'll see is around your PIN or your address, you'll have a very easy time ranking for your keyword. But as you go further and further away from your main address, you're going to see there's going to be more competitors in these areas right here, making it harder for you to rank. So if I click on this pin right here, you're going to see that I'm going to see the address of Friendly Pest Solutions right here, and then a competitor right there. And you're going to see in this area, there's not many other pest control companies. If I press on this pin right here, you're going to see that most of the addresses are along this street right here. So this gives a chance for Friendly Pest Control Solutions to show up right there. But when I click on this pin right here, you're going to see that there's way more pins or way more competitors who have their address verified in this area right here. So this makes it a lot harder for Friendly Pest Solutions, whose address is over here, to rank for this area, just because there's way more competitors who have their address verified over here. So one thing I'm able to do with this tool is I'm able to see all the competitors in my area and see where their address is, and I'm also able to see how they rank. So there is this company here called Florida Pest Control. You're going to see that their address is not too far away, and I can see how they rank. So they rank actually pretty well. They're in a pretty dense area with high competition, but they're able to still rank number 1. And even in my area where their pin is pretty far away from, they're able to rank number 5. So they still have a good chance of getting some leads that way as well. Typically what we do is we look at the competitors and then work backwards to see how many reviews that we need to actually rank in that area. Your ultimate goal as a business owner should be to try to get as many Google business profiles in a major city as possible. This company right here, Friendly Pest Solutions, is located in this city right here, but no matter how many reviews that they get, they're never going to rank as far as Central Tampa or even this area here just because it's too far. The only way that you're going to get leads from Central Tampa or this area right here is if you get another Google business profile, and that means starting from scratch, meaning no reviews, getting the physical address in that extra location, and then starting to build reviews from scratch. There are many companies that have multiple Google business profiles. It's not against Google terms of service, so it is allowed, and that is a way to get a lot of leads across a big city. So now that you know how to rank on this section of Google Maps, let's talk about this section right here. So this is the other way that you can get leads from Google. One thing that you'll also notice is that the websites that are listed here usually have the word pest or Tampa in it. So this company right here, Tampa Pest Control Experts, they have the word pest control and Tampa, so they actually do have an easier time ranking for this keyword. This company right here is called Pest Defense, so they have the word pest in it. Same thing with this company, Chet's Pest. So having the name of the service and the location does put you at a pretty good advantage for this section. So let's go into this website right here, Tampa Pest Control Experts, and let's see why they rank number 1. So off the bat, this doesn't look like a great page. I don't think it would convert that well, but it does rank number 1, so I'm sure it gets some leads calling right here. The first thing I like to do is I like to use this tool called the Detailed SEO Chrome extension. It is free. You can just find it right here. And the first thing I like to do is I like to look at the page title and the page meta description. So if you click on this extension right here, you'll see that the page title is Tampa Pest Control and the description has the word Tampa Pest Control as well. So you may be wondering, what is the page title and the meta description? These are basically just extra pieces of information that is not shown on the web page itself, but it's more about small descriptions of the page itself to describe to Google what the page is about. And to rank on Google, it's always a good idea to mention what you're trying to rank for. So it's always a good idea to mention Tampa Pest Control in the title and in the description right here. The next thing I like to do is I like to look at the headings. So if you press on the headings right here, you're going to see there's different categories of headings. There's H1s, there's H2s, H3s, and H4s. So you're able to have many different types of headings on a single page. The general rule is you only want to have one H1 on a single web page, and in this case they do. They only have one H1. And you also want to make sure that this H1 has the exact name of the service and the city that you're trying to rank for. So this H1 has Tampa Pest Control, and that's what this text is right here. This text is considered the H1. In the H1, you should write down what you're trying to rank for, just to make it very clear to Google of what you're trying to rank for. You know, instead of putting in the name of your business or just putting like best pest control company around you, you should be very clear and just say pest control services in Tampa or best pest control services in Tampa. So let's keep looking and see why this page ranks number one. So they're offering pest control for $30 a month, which is a pretty good offer. So this does help people pick up the phone and call them. You're going to see as soon as you scroll down, there's going to be a lot of content. And here they talk about the different services that they offer, which is pretty good. And as you scroll down, you're going to see more and more content. So you're probably wondering, what is the purpose of all of this content right here? So this content is pretty important to actually rank on Google, and I'm going to show you very quickly why. So there's this tool that we use called Surfer SEO, and this is something called an SEO content editor tool. So Google likes to rank pages that have a lot of content and make it very simple and clear about what the page is about. So let's say Google has two pages that it can decide on what to rank on the top for Pest Control Tampa. One only has one small paragraph and just mentions Pest Control Tampa, but another has way more information, talks about all the different services, has FAQ questions, and a lot of information. Google's going to pick this one to rank on the top of Google just because it's more likely to have the information that the person is looking for when they search for Pest Control Tampa. And this is just a tool that helps people ensure that they have the right amount of content when they're trying to rank for a keyword. So I used this tool and I made something called the content editor. And in the content editor, I said, I want to rank for Tampa Pest Control. So now it gave me a content editor to rank for this keyword. And you're going to see that as I type in words, so if I make the H1 Tampa Pest Control, you're going to see that my score will go up. And you're going to see that the top people that ranked have a score of 74. So if I'm trying to rank on the top of Google for Tampa Pest Control, I also want to make sure that my content also has a score of around 74 or ideally higher. So what I can do is I can take all the content on this page and I can paste it in here. And you're going to see that they're going to have a pretty good score. They currently have a score of 60. And this is all the content that they have on the page. So what I would do is I would use a combination of this tool plus ChatGPT or any AI tool to help me write more content to actually improve the score. So you may be wondering, okay, how do I actually improve the score? So when you press on Write and Optimize, this tool actually gives you a list of all the different topics and terms that you should use in your content to actually rank number one. So if you want to rank for Tampa Pest Control, you should mention common household pets. You should mention pesky pets. You should mention pest-free environment, pest control needs, for example. And don't try to insert these words randomly. Think of these as just topics that you should talk about in your content. So an easy way to improve this content score is to maybe add at the bottom of the page an FAQ section. So I'm going to say frequently asked questions. And then what I can do is I can go to ChatGPT and then I can actually copy all of these NLP or keywords that I want to add in my content. And I'm going to copy it with the fractions as well, so GPT can know which ones I have to add to my pieces of content. I don't want to add the ones that I've already added enough of. So I can paste this in here, and then I can say, I'm making the page for Pest Control Tampa. This is a list of all the NLP keywords that I want to add in my content. Generate a frequently asked question section to add on my page. Include keywords that haven't been mentioned yet. Only output me the questions and answers right at a grade 5 level. So now GPT is going to start giving me some frequently asked questions, and then we're going to see how much this improves the score. So these are the 10 questions it gave me. And then if I go back to my content editor, and then I just add in this, you're going to see my score went from a 60 to an 80, which is really good. And I love adding extra content as an FAQ section because it's very easy to hide at the bottom and you're able to fold them, meaning that you don't need to show a huge paragraph of text like in this section right here. This section doesn't really look good because this is a huge paragraph of text that no one will really read. I would rather remove this, put something more engaging like photos or reviews, and put all the content that we want to rank on the page at the bottom as an FAQ section. So us adding this content to this page would ensure that our page ranks even higher, or if I was trying to make a new website with a new page to rank for this, I would ensure that I have enough content like this to actually have a good chance of ranking. By the way, if you want our team to do this for you, we have a whole page of testimonials of case studies who we've done this process with, and they actually ranked on Google and they actually made a lot of money. You can see all these companies. This company made $600,000 in estimates in 2 weeks. This company made $300,000 in 2 months. So we're 100% certain that this would also work for you. So you can book a call with me and my partners and we'll do a whole audit of your pest control business and we'll build you a roadmap based on your budget to get you ranked at the top of Google so you can make more money. So one other thing you need to know is that it's not just this one page that you have to focus on. This company, Tampa Pest Control Experts, also has a page for all the different services. So they have a page for termite treatment, they have a page for rat removal, wildlife removal, bed bug treatment, and so on. So they didn't make these pages for no reason. They actually made these pages so that they can rank for specifically Tampa termite treatment. Companies make a page for every single service because it improves their chances of actually showing up for that keyword. So for example, if you're Google and you're trying to decide what company should show up for Tampa termite treatment, will it be the company that doesn't have a page talking about it at all? Or will it be the company that has a page dedicated entirely to that topic and has a lot of content talking about it? It's always going to be the company that has a dedicated page with a lot of content talking about it. And you'll see whenever I search for Tampa Rat Exterminator, you're going to see that all the results are dedicated pages that talk specifically about that topic of rat extermination in Tampa. And even for this keyword, you have to do the exact same process. You have to go to a content editor tool, you have to make a new content editor, put in your content and ensure that the score is high enough so that you can actually rank for that keyword. So now the next step is we need to think of all the different services that we could actually want to rank for. So you can go to ChatGPT and give it this prompt saying, I'm making service pages for pest control site to rank on SEO for service type queries. Give me an extensive list of pages to make. Keep in mind keyword cannibalization and have each page be about its own independent idea. So you're going to see that ChatGPT is going to give me a ton of different services that I can make dedicated pages for. So if I search for ant control Tampa, you're going to see that I'm going to get specific ant control pages. And if I offer ant control, then I should make that page as well. If I search for commercial pest control Tampa, you're going to see that I'm going to get specific commercial pest control Tampa pages, meaning that if I offer this, I should make a page as well. So you're going to see it's a pretty long list, meaning that it's quite a lot of work to ensure that you show up for all the different services that you offer. And you can make all of these pages for Tampa, but within Tampa, there's many different sub areas as well, because Tampa is a very large city. So I know within Tampa, there's an area called St. Petersburg. And if I search for pest control St. Petersburg, I'm going to get pages about pest control, but about specifically St. Petersburg. So that means that if I want to show up in St. Petersburg, which is within Tampa, I should make a specific pest control St. Petersburg page as well, meaning that I now have to make a page for every service, but also in each location as well. If I want to show up for commercial pest control, but instead of just Tampa, also show up for St. Petersburg, I have to make a commercial pest control St. Petersburg page as well, which is why this company ranks here. So we can also use ChatGPT to help us identify all the different areas that we can make pages for as well. So you can say, I'm making pest control service pages in Tampa for my pest control company. Give me a list of all the areas I should make service pages for in the greater Tampa area. So you can replace greater blank area with what your city is. And then say for each area you suggest, order them from most populated to least, so I know what pages to prioritize. And start with Tampa and then move your way downwards. And now it's going to give me a bunch of cities. So we should make all of our service pages for Tampa first. Then we can make it for St. Petersburg if I go down there, then Clearwater, then Brandon, then Riverview. And if I want to show up even more, then I can make all of these different pages for these even smaller areas as well. So this is a lot of pages. So you should make some type of sheet so you can keep track of all the different pages that you have to make. So that sheet should look something like this. So here we have a list of all the different categories of the pages that we want to make. Here we have the page name. Here we have the primary keyword, and then we have the URL, and we actually have the location that we want to rank for. So these should actually all mention the city name and the URL as well. So let's say I want to create a page for bed bug control Tampa, so then I can write it in this list right here. And then later on, if I want to make the bed bug control page but for St. Petersburg as well, I can add it in as well here, ensure that the URL is correct, and I can keep track of the page that I have to make here as well. So you can see by combining all of the keywords and all of the service areas as well, there could be hundreds of pages they have to make just to show up for all the different services alone, which is a lot of work. And because it's a lot of work, not many people are doing it. But if you're going to be the one of the few who does it, then you're going to get all the fruit and you're going to get all of the leads and all the deals. The last thing I want to talk to you about is backlinks. So even if you create all of these pages, you actually still won't rank because you're missing one last piece. And that last piece is something called backlinks. So let me describe to you what that is. So I have this tool called Ahrefs, and then I have something called a keyword explorer. So I can put in the keyword that I'm trying to rank for, in this case, Tampa Pest Control, and I'm going to see a few numbers. The first one is a keyword difficulty. So this is a score out of 100 of how hard or easy it is for me to show up for this keyword. I get an idea of how many people search for this every month. And if I scroll down, I'm going to see a list of all the different websites that actually rank. So this company, Tampa Pest Control Experts, they rank basically number one. And I'm going to see different stats about their website. So one of the numbers I like to look at is something called a domain rating. A domain rating in simple terms is just how strong a website is. And the stronger a website is and the higher the number, the DR is, then the easier chance they have to show up on Google. If the DR is very high, then they're going to have an easy chance to show up high on Google. To get a high DR rating means that you are trusted by Google. And if your DR rating is low, that means you're not trusted by Google, meaning that it's harder to rank high on Google. So now you're probably thinking, okay, like I get this DR number, so this company has a DR of 7, but the reason that they show up is because they have Tampa Pest Control in the name of their website. This company, Pest Defense, has a very high domain rating of 51. This company has 13. So there's usually a general trend that the higher domain rating you have, the easier time you'll have to show up on Google results. So the easiest way to improve your domain rating score is to get more links from other websites that point to your website. So let's look at this company, for example, chetspets.com. I can click on here and go to their overview, and I can see a lot of details about their website. They get around 737 traffic a month, and their domain rating is 12. And I can click on this button right here called backlinks, and I can see all the websites that link out to this company, Chet's Pests, that actually allows them to rank high on Google. So for example, there's this blog by handymanreview.com talking about the 6 best options for pest control in Tampa. And if I click on this link right here, you're going to see that Chet's Pest Control Company having this link from this other website is allowing their website to get a higher domain rating, allowing them to show up higher on Google. So in essence, the more links that you have from good authority websites pointing to your website, the higher you'll rank on Google. So if I own my own pest control company and I'm trying to rank high on Google, I would go through these lists of backlinks to try to acquire them for myself. And you're going to see that some companies actually have a lot of links. So this company has 402, which can sound a bit daunting at first. But not every backlink is created equally. If you get a backlink from a very high authority website, so maybe it's your local chamber of commerce, or maybe it's a national pest control industry website, getting a link from those will do a lot more for your domain rating than getting a random link from a random website that's based in a different country talking about different topics. So an easy way for me to narrow down which type of links I should get is add something called a do follow filter. And I want to filter out for non-spammy links. I don't care about the spammy links. I only want the good quality ones. So once I add these 2 filters, you're going to see I go from 402 all the way to just 71. So now I've narrowed it down to 71 links that I should try to acquire from my own pest control company, which is a lot easier to handle. So there's this website, expertise.com, talking about the 13 best Clearwater, Florida pest control services. So I can try to make an account and try to get listed on this platform as well for my own company. Same thing goes for this. This is called the New Order Magazine. And this is a guide about pest control services. So I can click on this. This website doesn't seem to load, so let's look at this one. This is called Outside the Box Mom, talking about creating a safe haven. So I can look at this blog here. I can see who the author is. I can reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed this blog. We can do a paid collaboration where you pay a small fee so that your website can be linked from this article as well. And even this task, you should try to stay organized and keep track of all the different links that you're trying to get. So for each website that you're trying to get a link from, you should write down what the website is. You should try to keep track whether you reached out to them or whether you acquired the link or not. And just as you get more and more links and as you reach out to more and more people, you would get more links to your website, allowing you to rank higher on Google. So that's basically it. As you can see, it is a lot of work because it's a lot of work to get your ads verified. It's a lot of work to get more views. It's a lot of work to make hundreds of pages. And it's a lot of work to get a lot of backlinks as well. So because it's a lot of work, again, the opportunity is for you to show up high in your local area and get a lot of inbound leads. Trust me, I know there's no other better feeling than getting inbound leads basically for free, but you're going to see that there is a cost of doing all the work to get yourself there. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you want our help, just book a call and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.